This is what championship basketball looked like in 2020. No roaring crowds, no victory, no parades, no family contact. Just isolated athletes fighting invisible battles for their legacy, for social justice, for their mental health. So the NBA builds a 22-team bubble in Orlando, where players live, play, and isolate for months just to finish the season. But how do they get here? And if they somehow made it through this season, could a championship really count? The idea was bold. The execution? Nearly impossible. What followed was one of the most intense, high-stakes experiments in sports history, and it was absolutely insane. It begins with a microphone and a joke that suddenly isn't funny anymore. March 9th, 2020. After a Utah Jazz practice, Rudy Gobert answers the usual questions to press. Nothing out of the ordinary. Then as he's leaving, he deliberately touches every microphone and recorder on the table, mocking rapidly growing COVID-19 pandemic restrictions and lockdowns. A smirk, a laugh, that's it. No one knew it then, but this would become one of the most infamous moments in NBA history. March 11th, 2020. Words spread that Gobert has tested positive for COVID-19 after showing flu-like symptoms.
Fans, due to unforeseen circumstances, the game tonight has been postponed. You are all safe. And take your time in leaving the arena tonight and do so in an orderly fashion. We are all safe.
NBA reacts decisively. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver suspended the season indefinitely. Not postponed, suspended.
This is crazy. This can't be true. I mean, it's not within the realm of possibilities. It seemed more like out of a movie than reality.
The NBA, a multi-billion-dollar enterprise that had played through wars, natural disasters, and national tragedies, had stopped. Gobert became patient zero for American sports and the face of a pandemic for sports fans. Every day brought new questions with no answers. What happens to player contracts? The playoffs? TV deals worth billions? Arena workers who suddenly had no games to staff? The financial hit from this suspension would be estimated at $1 to $2 billion in losses. Meanwhile, Gobert tried to make amends. On March 12th, he posted an Instagram apology, calling his actions careless and admitting he had no excuse. 2 days later, he donated $500,000 to support arena workers and COVID-19 relief efforts. But the damage had been done. Around the league, positive tests mounted. Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Marcus Smart, multiple players on the Pistons and Nets. Silver thought that there must be a way to resume or accept the most catastrophic financial blow in league history. So he presented this radical proposal. If the world was too dangerous for basketball, they would build a world where basketball could exist safely. Could the NBA really create its own pandemic-proof world? And at what cost to the players trapped inside it? July 2020, Disney World has become ground zero for the NBA salvation. A $190 million experiment with no guarantee of success. 22 teams, 3 hotels, 7 practice courts, 3 game arenas, all sealed off from the outside world. Players arrived at Orlando via charter flight, and from the moment they landed, they followed strict sanitation protocols like nasal swabs, isolation periods, electronic tracking bracelets.
The bubble is a bubble. It was challenging. It was an experiment, an experience.
Anything on the loss, disappointed, of course, but it's an experience I'll never forget.
Our mission was to come down here and be the last team standing. We fell short of that.
I think that this whoever's crown champion deserve it because it's definitely the toughest time I've had in the NBA.
One misstep could derail the entire season. They are kept so isolated from the outside world that the Spurs guard, DeMar DeRozan, said, "You're taking guys away from their families. It'll be something for every player's mental health." The NBA tried to make it normal with arcade games, fishing spots, movie nights, but nothing could replace what they'd left behind.
Pull up. Feel it. Hey, yo, Bill!
I'm trying to get him to hold his fish.
Bro, look at the inside of his mouth. No, wait, 1 second. I just want to see the inside of his mouth. That shit look crazy. Open it up. Bro, I've never, oh my goodness.
Then came the first breach. Clippers guard Lou Williams left for a funeral. He was spotted at Magic City, an Atlanta strip club. In his defense, he said that he was just picking up wings. That lemon pepper run cost him a 10-day quarantine and 2 seeding games. It was a very dark place for everyone.
I was just in a bad place.
It was only after 2 months in where families finally allowed to enter. The experiment worked medically. 0 COVID cases after initial entry quarantine. But the real test was mental. The bubble stripped basketball to its core. No distractions, no escape. For some, the isolation forged something extraordinary. For others, it crushed their spirit. There were no fans, no home court, just 94 feet and the demons in heads. The seeding games began on July 31st, 2020, and the usual roar of arenas was replaced by players' voices only. And in that silence, some players rose in unexpected, unforgettable ways. TJ Warren, a name barely mentioned before, exploded with a 53-point against the 76ers that stunned the league.
At the end of the game, he's got to let the Sixers know, stop leaving me open. What a win for the Pacers.
Then came Damian Lillard. Already a star, but now possessed. With Portland's playoff spot on the line, he dropped 61 points on Dallas and willed his team forward. And perhaps most astonishingly, the Phoenix Suns, left for dead in the standings, went 8-0 only to miss the playoffs on a technical tiebreaker. How much more could a team possibly do? The basketball was as level as it had ever been. No travel, no heckling crowds, no reset button, no private space to decompress. Identical courts, identical routines. It was fair, painfully fair. But make no mistake, that fairness cut both ways. The seeding games were merely the appetizer. In the playoffs, the bubble's psychological pressure would squeeze teams until they either shattered or transformed. What happens when the world's best athletes are stripped of every comfort and forced to face not just their opponents, but themselves? Without question, this was the tightest pressure the NBA had ever seen, and it made stars crack or ascend. The bubble had revealed basketball in its purest form during the seeding games. Now as the playoffs began, you can feel the pressure through the screen. The Milwaukee Bucks, top seed in the East, favorites to win it all, and look at this. Giannis is clearly not right. Bruised back, ankle flaring up, but it's more than that. You can see the psychological weight pressing down on him. Their offensive flow looked disjointed. Giannis missed Game 1 and hobbles through Game 2 to 4 before being shut down completely in Game 5. And on the other side, Jimmy Butler locked in 40 points in Game 1 alone. Just dagger after dagger. It's like every big moment bent in his direction. Then he does this. He showed up with a French press and launched Big Face Coffee, charging $20 a cup. Why? Because that's Jimmy, man. He needed structure, something to grind for.
I'm working on my coffee skills. After my career, I'm opening my coffee shop. Right now, I'm charging $20 a cup. So if you want some, come through.
He became the soul of that Heat team. Meanwhile, Giannis, physically drained and mentally exhausted, couldn't rise to the occasion. And the Bucks season frizzled out in a 5-game sweep. Now we jump west. Denver Nuggets. No one expected this team to still be breathing. They had already pulled off one miracle, a 3-1 comeback against the Utah Jazz in the first round. Jamal Murray versus Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell dropped 57 in Game 1 and 51 in Game 4. Murray answered with 50 in Game 4 and 6. Together they combined for 475 points. It was personal, intense, and unforgettable. Denver claws back from down 3-1 to win in 7. That should have been their moment, but nah, they weren't done. Now it's Clippers time. Kawhi, Paul George, everyone said this was the championship team. And yet, it's the Nuggets who rise again. Jokic and Murray played with total freedom. In games 5, 6, and 7, Denver dismantled them. Kawhi vanished. PG-13 hit the side of the backboard. The Clippers collapsed under pressure. The Nuggets thrived in it. That was the truth of the bubble. It didn't change players, it exposed them. Some cracked, others ascended, and some, like LeBron James and the Lakers, seemed to draw power from it. Because in this bubble, nothing was normal, and everything was magnified. The pressure, the stakes, the breakdowns, the brilliance. It was basketball as its most raw and most insane. For the Lakers, this championship meant legacy. From day one, the entire franchise had one mission: win it for the Black Mamba. They opened with Portland, bubble darlings led by a red-hot Damian Lillard. When the Blazers stole Game 1, whispers of an upset grew. But the Lakers shut it down fast by rattling off 4 straight. LeBron and AD averaged a combined 56 points. Dame time expired. Next came Houston's small ball experiment. Harden and Westbrook took Game 1 and exposed cracks. But Frank Vogel adjusted by doubling down on size and punishing mismatches. The Lakers stormed through in 5. Denver tried to resist. Jokic threatened in Game 2. But then came the moment. Anthony Davis in the Mamba jersey hits the buzzer-beating 3. "Kobe," he yelled. That shot broke the Nuggets' spirit. They never recovered. Then came the finals. Jimmy Butler pushed the superstar-packed Lakers to 6 games through sheer willpower. It was LeBron's 10th NBA Finals appearance. But the real story came long before the playoffs. January 26, 2020, Kobe Bryant's helicopter crashed in Calabasas, killing him, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others. It was the moment that shook the basketball world to its core, and the Lakers used this as a purpose. They wanted to win this championship for Kobe, to follow his mantra, leave a legacy. They even wore the Mamba jerseys like armor and never lost in them. Every game, every possession carried the weight of honoring a fallen legend. It should have been a sweep, but Jimmy Butler made it personal. September 30th, Game 1, the Lakers showed up like executioners. Anthony Davis dropped 34 points while LeBron nearly posted a triple-double. Final score, 116-98. As if the talent gap wasn't enough, fate turned cruel for Miami. Goran Dragic's plantar fascia tore. Bam Adebayo's shoulder gave out. The Heat was broken, outmatched, finished. Then Jimmy Butler happened. Game 3, a 40-point triple-double where he outdueled LeBron and Davis combined. Only Jerry West and LeBron himself had done that in finals history. His Game 5 pushed the limits even further. 35 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, 5 steals through 47. Butler was collapsing between plays, his hands were on knees, and he was gulping air like a man fighting gravity. It was his willpower alone that dragged the finals out. If that wasn't enough, Dragic returned for Game 6 on one functioning foot. Adebayo battled through his shoulder injury to post 25 and 10. This wasn't just basketball. It was something primal. But LeBron James had seen enough. Game 6. LeBron responds with 28 points, 14 rebounds, 10 assists. His first finals triple-double with the Lakers. His 4th championship. His 4th finals MVP. LeBron becomes the first player ever to win that honor with 3 different franchises. The Lakers secure their 17th title.
You know, ever since the tragedy, all we wanted to do was do it for him, and we didn't let him down. He was a big brother to all of us, and we did this for him.
This was for Kobe. But as the confetti fell in an empty gym, the question is, would this championship really count? Was it the easiest title or the hardest ever won? Some still call it an asterisk ring. Critics say the bubble flattened the grind. Some fans even whispered about unfair advantages. But ask those who lived through those 93 days of isolation.
At the end of the day, it's going to be the toughest championship you could ever win.
Eric Spoelstra called it incomparable.
Build different, dog. We built different. Keep going. Keep going. We just want our respect. Rob wants his respect. Coach Vogel wants his respect. Our organization wants their respect. Laker Nation wants their respect. And I want my damn respect too.
James down the lane, layup makes it in. Largest lead of the night. Timeout, Thunder. James pulls up, puts it in, 4-point lead. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with a rejection. Wow. James splits the defense down the lane, running layup, it's good, and the foul. This historic 2020 NBA championship belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers.
The Finals MVP is LeBron James.
The NBA bubble was the most surreal, isolated, and mentally demanding 4-month stretch in NBA league history. An experiment in survival as much as basketball. So does this championship count? Yes, more than ever. It wasn't handed over, it was fought for, through silence, sacrifice, and suffocating pressure. The ones who survived this pressure didn't just win a game, they made history. If the bubble felt like a movie you almost forgot, drop a comment, hit like, and subscribe for more epic NBA stories that shaped the league's legacy.